All right, y'all. It's 2:45 in the morning. We're live with myself, Dylan White, also known as Tech Insights with Dylan White. Let's get to what it takes to become an identity engineer, right? So we're up really early with the wolves. I got my madder than a wet hen cup of coffee. So we're going to get to it. All right. So first off, why did I choose on this pathway for identity engineering? It's probably the most important path, in my opinion, for the next at least 5 to 10 years. It's been the most important path, in my own opinion, probably for the last 10 or so years outside of network engineering. If you want to be a network engineer, that's something that excites you, definitely chase that pathway. I definitely think that one's not going away no matter what anybody says. But identity, I think, is a close second. 2 years ago, it was well documented that the shift has been from the networking side to identity for security, where that's the breach plane, right? So identity is heavily focused and heavily integrated everywhere. And with the new shifting world of being mostly remote, Jesus, identity is even more important. So with that being said, let's dive into a bit about what it takes to become an identity engineer. Once again, we're going to dive into the why, the how, and the what it will take and what the pathways look like, and how we'll lay out kind of this learning journey. This won't be one of those 30 days journeys. This won't be a 60-day journey. This probably won't even be a 6-month journey. So let's get right into it. So a bit about me. For those that haven't watched the previous videos, I'll link those when I edit this recording. This recording itself will probably take all the way to 4, and then I'll go hit the gym. But how I got here, I started out doing about 5.5 years in the military, in between help desk, virtualization engineering. Sat on a knock for 6 months. Did a full military training on IT. And then I got out in 2016 and joined a Microsoft partner group, MSP. For those that don't know what MSP is, it's a managed service provider, right? Go look them up. Once again, I'll have those linked in the show notes at a later time. They're great places to start and build your wealth of knowledge and then go elsewhere. Outside of that, after that, I went and worked as a contractor for Ford Motor Company. Then I went and worked for StockX. Lost my job at StockX. Went and worked for myself, and then post-COVID, went and worked for another managed services provider, but also went straight to their project team, right? So I went and got my Azure 104 cert and joined that company right away. And then left there, went to a solutions integrator, just a larger, which had a managed service desk component, but also did all kinds of value-added reselling and integrating of different services. Sat on their Microsoft team, went through a couple acquisitions with them, and then moved to where I am now, which is a full cloud Microsoft partner, a little bit smaller shop, heavily focused on the security side. So that's a quick 30 seconds into who I am, why we're here, what we're doing. So today we're going to go over the basics of an identity engineer, a few job descriptions, and then we're also going to dive in a little bit into just the basics out of those job descriptions, right? So the Active Directories of the world, the Entra ID, also known as Azure AD, the Cisco Duo, the Okta, what is SSO, what are enterprise applications, blah, blah, blah. Just the very basics. And then in the next session, we'll start diving into setting up an AD with a whiteboard session, why we use that AD. And the whole premise of this is how companies are moving from a fully on-premises, right? So everything's stored at their local site, to moving to hybrid, right? Allowing their team members and whatnot to be remote, right? And moving fully to cloud, right? There's some companies are fully born in the cloud only solutions. And you have others that are still very focused on the on-premise. So that being said, let's get to it. Let's look at a couple job descriptions. All right, let me see if the share screen works. looked awful, but here we go. All right, so let's take a look. So first off, I'm on LinkedIn. For those that hate LinkedIn, I'm sorry. Between LinkedIn and tech systems, those are only two places you'll see me sending you jobs. Just if I were you, right? So this goes back to kind of what we'll learn through the time and why it's going to be a journey together. Is learning how to filter is probably going to be your number one thing for all LinkedIn, right? Set alerts, like you don't get outworked. That's going to be my feedback to you, right? A couple people in social media will say that all the time. Don't let yourself get outworked. So sort it by experience level, sort it by date posted, right? All that good stuff. If you're looking right now, I just want to find a couple good jobs to show you guys what it looks like. So I had a couple picked out. Obviously, I had to reboot my computer right before we started, so that didn't help. So let's take a look. So of course, all these are going to be based on me. I don't want you guys to look at things that obviously I would apply for. This is a good one. This is a very basic job, right? So from an IAM perspective, right? So IAM engineer, it's based on for the Columbia Sportswear Company. Anybody that's ever worn any nice their jackets, they're pretty dope. It's based out of Portland, Oregon. It's entry level listed, right? Huge organization. About the job, my guess is it's going to be on site. I don't see any remote. So you can see from the beginning, like how many people they got applied for the job. It's not linked to LinkedIn, so you won't ever see that. So they're geographically dispersed. So you'll be supporting their store infrastructure, mobile data, all that good stuff. The IAM engineer supports global information security team. As you can see, most of the identity teams are going to be more rolled into information security. If they haven't already been, it'll definitely happen within 3 years. Global orgs, it takes a little bit longer. This role is going to support the IAM capabilities, right? Basic IAM concepts. What is SSO, single sign-on, MFA, multi-factor authentication, and privileged access management, also known as PAM, right? So how you'll make a difference, right? You're going to assist in designing the implementation of IAM solutions that meet biz requirements and comply with security policies and regulations. With it being retail, regulations going to be heavy and it's going to be very focused. So you're also going to assist with management of user identities, roles, and access rights within the IAM system. Work closely with app owners to integrate applications and services with the IAM systems. Troubleshoot and resolve issues related to IAM. Assist with the development, documentation, and implementation of IAM policies, procedures, and standards. Hold on 2 seconds. I will be back. I'm sharing. All right, part of having kids and the lovely middle of the night young kids that love to wake up. So if you guys are planning that part of your life, are already there, I'm right there with you too. So we'll just do this together. All right, let's get back to it. So we went through some cool things you'll do, but you are, right? So you'll be able to demonstrate working knowledge of IAM tools, knowledge of industry regulatory security standards and frameworks, right? So NIST, CSF, SOX, PCI, DSS, GDPR. We can walk through, we'll have a whole regulations kind of couple sessions around it and how IAM takes pieces, right, of it. They apply pieces of it in IAM specialties. Both you'll be able to work both individually and as part of a team, right? Super important in large orgs that you can do both, and you're collaborative in your approach to problem solving. Now, about you, you'll have an associate's degree or 2 years of equivalent experience supporting enterprise systems and tech. You'll understand IAM concepts. You'll have experience with IAM tools such as AD and Azure AD. Indra. Scripting experience is preferred, right? So Python, PowerShell. So some cool projects are out there already on the internet. So we'll go through some of those, like the one with Made by GPS, also known as Quenth. And there's just some really good stuff people in the industry already do around identity and access management, and we're going to reuse it. So once again, this is a very basic job description, right? They'll even tell you it's not an all-inclusive list. It's important that if you're going to go for roles like this, that you build your projects out and you apply directly, right? So don't get out of work, look at Columbia Sportswear Company, look for some people on the security team, and reach out direct. Let's see what else we got. Family enterprises. So this is for a motor vehicle company. It's posted straight on LinkedIn. You can reach out directly to the person. It's reposted 2 months ago. It's hybrid, based out of Miami. So let's see. So this job is going to report directly to the IAM access manager, support the CISO, right? Engineer is going to be accountable for running day-to-day engineering, admin, and support of identity management, provisioning, and project-based activities. You're going to work closely with provisioning team, engineers, architects, ops, and other tech people, of course. The ideal candidate has strong drive for passion. Let's see. Responsibilities are going to be monitor IAM services and operations, execute service reports for metrics, address service level and service delivery issues, document change and lifecycle management, technical issues, ensure identity systems and associated integrations are properly planned, installed, configured, secured, and maintained, adherence to document standards, promote security best practices. A lot more bullets in this one, which is good. New features, just calling out the ones that make a lot of sense. Planning for IAM strategy programs, IAM policy reviews. You're going to provide on-call support. Work with on-prem and cloud-based identity provisioning systems, right? So hybrid for sure. Hopefully they want you to have a bachelor's degree or 3 years related experience. Minimum of 1 year experience in supporting identity of IAM. Ability to work in a matrix and collaborative environment. Scripting knowledge, PowerShell, Python again. My call out there, right? This is just going to put shout outs to a couple of my good friends, Nathan McNulty and Sam Erd. Learn some graph, right? If you're going to work in the Microsoft space, learning the graph API will put you just another step above. But they also call out some other really big identity platform tools, such as SailPoint, CyberArk, right? And they have various MFA services. My guess probably Duo, Azure MFA, maybe even an Okta in there. Most large enterprise, been around 15 plus years. Their MFA journey started with Cisco Duo. They were on Cisco Duo. Just a little side note to backtrack, kind of talk about why that is Cisco Duo is one of the first to extend the MFA process to Windows machines, right? i.e. servers, so they could actually do MFA in front of servers. So that's kind of why they made it first in enterprise. Then you'll need to have a working knowledge of Microsoft apps, 365, Azure, and Power products. Working knowledge of Amazon Cloud products, AWS, EC2, pipeline automation is a plus, right? So this is preferred. This is how you set yourself apart. Right? So if you're going to do a project, maybe a little AWS integration won't be so bad, right? Not inclusive of all job duties, yada, yada, yada. So now we know a couple jobs, right? Let's talk about what were some of the common themes, right? Obviously, Active Directory, Azure AD, Microsoft Entra ID, whatever you want to call it. Highly there, right? PowerShell, Python, both jobs, right? having a working knowledge of O365, M365, of course. But then you're going to start learning common things, right? MFA was in both. Single sign-on was in both. And so learning those is going to be critical to your success and landing a role in the identity space. If you don't know how to configure single sign-on, probably aren't going to pass initial round of interviews, especially when they start getting more technical. Right? The more you can set up how to do that, the better. What we learned in this alternative job posting is also kind of learning how to monitor and maintain with some key metrics will also be crucial to the day-to-day job of the IAM engineer. And I think that's something that doesn't get called out enough. All right. So with that being said, let's kind of walk through what it looks like and what our this kind of training journey is going to look like. All right, we're going to do that. I like to do it on the whiteboard. So that's how we're going to do it. So as it loads, let's see. We're going to launch a new whiteboard up. We're just going to go through a little planning exercise. What this will look like. All right. Big in the text boxes. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to define some roles, right? We define it based on job descriptions. All right, let's say we got that. So we actually make this as a little sticky note. Let's drop that in orange. And then this button. And boom. All right, so we define the roles. Let's add this too. Okay, we're going to define the roles. All right, the second thing we're going to do, not nearly as important, still important. We're going to whiteboard services journey. All right, so what the services are, what we're going to build, how we're going to build it. Right. So I think until I start planning to go on another trip or anything of the sort, these live streams are going to probably be every Tuesday and Thursday morning, just like this. Then maybe a longer 3-hour session on a Sunday, super early again. Right. Identity is big to me. This is kind of a passion thing for me, and I love just getting to do it. So we're whiteboarding the services journey and how we build it out. But we're also going to have open hours, right? So I think we'll probably call it Friday, maybe every Wednesday during my lunch, whenever I take it. And I'm just going to go live for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and just open hours, right? You got questions, ask them. Kind of what I used to do with the Twitter Spaces, but more on the YouTube side, just because Twitter's harder to maintain. I like the X Spaces. It just didn't move me, to be honest. So either YouTube or LinkedIn, probably going to both. And just so you can ask your question and I'll respond to all, even in the chat. So that's kind of what's going to go about. So whiteboard services journey, and plan live sessions. All right. If you want to hit it with the next one, all right, well, that's going to take us from there. Right. It's going to take us into our first of, this kind of the learning modules, right? So one of the first ones we're going to do is we're going to build an Active Directory domain, and we're going to build the environment for it, right? So we're going to whiteboard and build the Active Directory domain. We're going to build it based on, for those that have done other things with me, it's going to be based on the Josh McAdoo tutorials. If you don't want to look people up, all this once again, I'll drop all this in the image and stuff so you guys can see it. All right, so we're whiteboarding build, sure, based on Josh McAdoo. I think that's probably one of the best out there. All right, what that session looks like, it's probably going to be 2 weeks alone, just on what taking the whiteboard and building it out, right? How we build it out, and so I'm probably going to build it straight into Azure because I don't feel like doing it any other way. And I've done it with Hyper-V. I think for most of the people out there building an Active Directory domain controller environment on a Hyper-V server or building it in the Oracle VirtualBox is a little bit past the beginner stage. And I think to get most people used to this and used to the cloud native way, I think cloud native is going to be most helpful for a lot of people to land their first systems administrator jobs, going to work for an MSP in their local area. I think the cloud native will be right there at the cusp of getting them their first entry level jobs. We're going to try to push past the basics of AD. We'll use that tutorial on some other things like using what is a Kerberos ticket, what is Active Directory, what is ANSI Edit, what is ADUC, all that blah, blah, blah. We'll work on different videos there, but from the actual training journey, things like that, they're going to keep it very high level, right? So think of this if you're looking at like courseware for colleges, for Active Directory domain course, we're looking at like maybe the 150 level. We're not going to go deep dive on it. You're not going to become an expert on Active Directory, but you are going to become proficient enough to go in and be a tier 1/tier 2 engineer. All right, very basic. All right, so whiteboard build the Active Directory domain controller. We're going to jump in and we're going to build our M365 tenant. Very important. All right. It's going to be the very first thing we do for M365. So when a company starts their cloud journey, a lot of companies just dive in and get to it, right? They're told, hey, we want to go into the cloud. Then think about how to secure it, what it actually takes to build it, what are some defaults that are turned on that probably should be turned off, what are secure scores, what licensing to go get after and get, all that good stuff. And we're going to dive into some of those basics. We're probably going to go 200 level with the build and secure, right? From there, we're going to jump into the integration of the on-prem environment we built, and we're going to whiteboard and integrate our on-premises, if I could spell it, AD with M365. That's called, it's going to be called Azure ID Connect. So for any of you that are studious types, you want to go study ahead, that's probably be, I call it 3 sessions, right? 1 session on whiteboarding. I'm going to do my very best whiteboard impressions. I don't have a giant whiteboard that I'm drawing on, like some friends I have in the community, but we're going to do our best. And that'll probably be 4 sessions. And then what will happen from there is we'll have all of our users from our Active Directory domain will be thrown into our M365 tenant. Not all licensed, of course, because I'm not buying that many licenses, but we're going to put them up there. All right, we're going to go over what tools that is, what the Entra ID Connect is, how to troubleshoot Entra ID Connect. I think that's one thing that will set you greatly apart. We'll also talk about how you can do PowerShell and the Graph API for users, and build in your own Python mini app to manage those users. And so remember Python, PowerShell, how you go above it. This will be one way. Going back to this for build and secure the M365 tenant, we're going to talk a little bit about some security tools that help you test, right? So one of those tools is called Maester, right? And we're also going to use the Scuba framework. And so you'll be able to put those projects in there too. Maester is open source. It's built by two Microsoft MVPs and one Microsoft Jedi, whose name is Meryl Fernando. You guys want to follow somebody on the Twitter, LinkedIn space that will give you unlimited tips in identity world. I'll drop his name down in the show notes, but he's one of the best, might just be the best in the world, but gives out free stuff to not only us as individual contributors, but enterprises worldwide. So one of the best out there. Maester was built by him and 2 other people that are Microsoft MVPs. Those of you that are new to following me, new to Microsoft lingo, where MVPs are most valuable professionals in Microsoft space. They're community professionals. Some of them will be internal Microsoft team. I don't know if they still allow that, but most of them are just outside professionals that work with Microsoft tooling every day and want to help community get better. Right? All right. So with these, what's that? 5 sessions. We're probably already looking at 2 months. So, like I said, we'll have open hours, office hours. So if some of this seems like it's really below you, and you're ready. Maybe you just got laid off from a job. Maybe you're like, don't I just really want to get my feet into a job? We can, during the open office hours, we can definitely talk about that. And then if you want help building your LinkedIn profile or applying to jobs, we can definitely dive through that in a 30-minute session. No problems. I have no problems doing that. I used to do it like paid mentorship personally, just dug at me. I just didn't enjoy it, so I didn't advertise it. None of that. In person, I just get more out of it just by helping people. So I'll open the coffee chat hours again, and we'll get to it. I'll touch grass and talk to people. Um, I actually enjoy it. So through all this, we're probably 2 months in with office hours, yada yada. And then from there, what we'll do is we're gonna work on building out some on-premise applications. We're going to do some SSO integration and AD. I don't think we're going to do ADFS. If you guys listen to this video and think I should do ADFS, put it in the comments. Personally, I hate it. So with the love-hate relationship, I don't really see a lot of organizations on it, but I know there are. So I know some organizations will post Active Directory Federation Services, also known as ADFS, knowledge, and they're going to be wanting people that know how to move their applications to the cloud. So that might be there. But SSO integration, I think, will be huge. We'll also talk about MFA. So we're going to talk about some Entra services. This is what this one will be. We'll talk about the different licensing scheme. I think there'll probably be at least 4 or 5 different roles that could come out of these sessions and journey. You're going to have people that are hands-on keyboard, so identity active and access management. You'll have engineers, you'll have administrators, right? That's obviously hands-on keyboard roles. You'll have what I call sales roles, right? So you can go work for any organization that's doing identity stuff. With this background, you could probably go land consulting roles. You can land sales roles for sure, because you'll have a better understanding of how to sell the stuff. Those would be kind of the 2 roles. And obviously, I think managed services, right? All these people, MSPs can definitely use people that know this. So we're going to dive in a little bit licensing. If you're going to go into sales or you're going to go into consulting, you need to understand licensing. So for Entra services, we're going to go through P1, P2, and in different sessions, we'll probably go through even what's called governance. Definitely not for me to lay out what those services are now. Just know we're going to go into definitely more than just this. So services, we're going to go SSO integration. We're going to go through MFA. We're going to go through privileged access, right? So PAM. We're going to go into access reviews. We're going to go into Entra monitoring. We're going to go into identity protection. We're going to go into conditional access. All right. So that's going to be Entra services. All right. And then on top of that, what we're going to go do after that, because the Entra services will probably last a month on its own. For that, we're going to go over the third, what I call 3P integrations. So that's going to be the Duo, if I could spell. All right, so Cisco Duo. Maybe by then I'll buy some networking gear for around the house, and we'll do a Meraki Wi-Fi integration. I think that's going to be important. We'll go into what else I want to try to trap you guys with my identity world. Let's just do text. There we go. Rocky for Wi-Fi. We can look into a Zscaler SSE. So for those of you that don't know acronyms or still new on journey, and the SSE is what's known as Secure Service Edge. Think about that as the 21st generation of a VPN appliance that allows people to work remotely without just being just a VPN. It's an always on client that connects you to your enterprise environment, works with zero trust, right? Principles, all that good stuff. So throughout all these sessions, we'll talk about key concepts such as zero trust, and this, like, all those, we'll work those in, so you kind of learn those basics. It's very important. So I think for third-party integrations and trying to think of things that we can do in a lab that you can also do yourself for inexpensively. I think Zscaler does have the developer tenant for themselves. I also think Okta does as well. So those will probably be, and those are ones that will also set your resume apart. We can do an HR system. So we'll probably do Bamboo. There might be another HR system. HR provisioning. How that works. If you think about the third-party integrations, that'd be cool from an identity aspect. Please let me know. There's some governance ones that I might want to throw out there, such as like a Savient, such as a even Microsoft's identity governance. Drawing Veza might be another one I go with. Whichever ones have developer tenants where I don't have to pay money will go to the front of the queue, of course. But those will probably be where we wrap and really go deep dive into kind of how we build other things, right? So the last part of this will be projects, and I'll list those projects out. Remember to look at this like a journey. We're going to have little subway stops along the journey. That's why I don't whiteboard, because I try to make everything look the same. Okay. All right, so projects. We'll list out some of those that we're going to do, and these projects we're going to look at. Obviously, all right, we got hit up homie by GPS. We're going to do, we already called them out, but Josh McAdor. All right, so if we look at identity projects, we're probably going to look at my guy, Nathan McNulty, for some PowerShell stuff. And we'll probably look at some others. Those are three and call out right away that we're going to look at to add to your resume. And by then, we'll probably be 4.5, 5 months in, right? We're not saying that it's going to be, like I said, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. It's not. Along the way, we'll probably look at some certs that you can get. And I'll list those out here just so you guys have those. What the certifications are. So for Microsoft, we're going to definitely help people get the 900. I'll probably do a couple of giveaways. I'll give 3 away through the time. Call it 3 to 6 of them. One a month. So certifications. We'll also look at the SC 300. Those are Microsoft heavy. Look at the SailPoint. We'll look at the Okta one, and we may even look at Zscaler. I think you need to be a Zscaler partner to get it, but we'll look into what those certs look like. We'll see if Cisco has one yet. Around identity itself, I don't think they do. So those will be some of the basics. If you can think about other certifications that might make sense, throw them my way. I think from an identity landscape, I think Microsoft probably has one that's truly identity outside of SailPoint. So that's probably the pathway, right? Once again, we'll read it out, what those are, right? Define the roles of an IAM engineer based on job descriptions, services that are used. You got to know PowerShell. You got to know Python. That was not set you apart anymore. That's requirement if you're going to be an engineer. If you can be an administrator, I think you can get away with just the PowerShell. Knowing SSO, MFA, it's again a requirement. If you're going to be an administrator, I think MFA would be mandatory. SSO would be nice to have. And then if you look at it, right, the difference between an administrator and engineer, this is once again, hands on keyboard from somebody that's done it all. Excuse me, Mom, and just more espresso. From an administrator perspective, if you look at that last job role, they really laid it out for you, right? You're not going, from an administrator perspective, you're not going to configure, you're not going to engineer anything, right? But by engineer, I mean build, right? So configure, implement, those two will probably be out of your realm, your actual racing. But will be part is maintaining and troubleshooting. You need to know those, right? What are key metrics? What are for change management? What's already built? Understanding your build diagrams. Troubleshooting. Once again, if something breaks, be on call to fix it. You might have to escalate something, right? But you'll be on call for that first one. Definitely be the first call. And support, which is also part of maintain. So that's the difference between what I would consider an IAM administrator versus an IAM engineer. We went through a little bit of the services. We're going to lay all those out. Like I said, each step of the way, and we're going to whiteboard what we're going to do and then get to it. From there, we learned a bit about the jobs themselves. Right? I did a filter. We can rock that filter out and show you again. But you can see that I just filtered LinkedIn jobs on IAM engineer. There's 2,200 results. Experience level, just kept it to 2, entry level and associate, right? To me, that means 2 to 3 years less. If you want to get into the nitty gritty, this is for me. When I was going to job search and landed my job, I looked at it like a job, right? I didn't do any of this woe is me. I didn't go on LinkedIn saying, hey, somebody hire me. I went and I got to work, right? So I would filter LinkedIn, I'd filter Dice, all these places. But I would filter them for the past week, right? You got 366 jobs. I posted them last week, right? On-site, hybrid. You'll be willing to work, right? Hybrid. This M365 engineer, let's see. 2 to 3 days on site. No C2C, which means contract to contract. Well, let's take a look. This might be. So this is architect. So I don't know why this. Once again, not all recruiters are good recruiters. I personally, if I was somebody that had done this work a lot, I probably would just roll right past this one. So it's for finance. They're probably struggling to get somebody hybrid. 365 suite. You're going to have experience doing all this. Security and risk. Right, so they're integrating into Cisco WebEx. So they want somebody that knows networking, cloud architecture. Right, this is going to be far beyond that. So this is some of the problem, right, that you get with these ones. So if we go take out the associate level, right? So somebody put that under entry level. I'll try and see if they can get rid of that. Let's see what this one. Contract to hire, M365 engineer. Let's see if this is true. Once again, sorry, you guys. The job market, job searching these days is rough. I am engineer 2. Don't know why that's an entry level. I am support engineer, ping, SiteMinder. SiteMinder is pretty big for a lot of them coming up. Maybe that's something I throw in the thing. It's again, 60 to 80 bucks an hour. I'm going to assume this isn't actually entry level, which is a recruiter that doesn't know their job. Right? Personally, if you're supporting ping and SiteMinder, it's definitely not entry level. Just my own opinion. Let's see. There's also, I saw online mobile banking, policy service for ForgeRock. This is not entry level. Well, let's see what we got. Yeah, look, they're looking for people with system. I need people to do better. I'm going to have to go back and call in actual applications and job descriptions out, because this is wild. Prompt engineering. Sorry, I didn't know LinkedIn was this bad. This is Definitely that same architect position, just posted twice. AWS IAM engineer, it's got 20 applicants. Let's see. Contract for 1 year. Nothing else spectacular calling it out. AWS on site from day one. Neither Malvern, which is just outside Philly, or Dallas, the DFW area. 1 year. It's going to be a multi-year contract. You can do video interviewing, policy, security control, multiple accounts with that. I am very basic AWS engineering. Man, it is not as good as I thought. Automation engineer, Okta engineer. Let's see. They call it entry level, but they call out 10 years of IAM experience with 2 to 3 years for Okta. Wow. I don't know what to say to that. All right, so let's see what we get for IAM administrator. We're going to use the last 15 minutes or so just to look at some jobs and see. And whatever jobs I find that actually are semi-good for people with huge experience, I'll lay those out too. So this is Deerfield Beach, Florida. I don't really know. It's not Orlando area. I don't know where it is. So Ventrac, so this looks like golf grounds and irrigation market leader. M365 security administrator. You're going to be hybrid, which is by the VPID. Design, implement. I just really want to see the years of experience, growth. So minimum 3 years and experience of the M365 environment with the M365 certification for fundamentals, enterprise admin, security admin, or Intune cert is variant. So they're going to move into the cloud. This one might be a good one for anybody that's got probably, I'd say, 3 to 4 years of help desk and goes through this journey. It might be good to go back and circle back on this one in a couple months. I think somebody with the right amount of experience probably could get this one within 30 to 60 days, actually. Look up the company. If you're in the Florida area or you're willing to relocate to Deerfield Beach, Florida, it might be worth it. Exchange operations engineer. I think that's for a guy that loves Exchange. This one is close to my heart. So this is another hybrid 3 days a week. Our top financial client, my guess, is a certain bank, very big bank. Would be great for somebody on their resume. On-prem Exchange, you experience 2016, 2019. I can tell you how those things changed. Operations, ticketing, clustering, Active Directory. Right, all those are very important, especially when it comes to identity and a hybrid environment. Email is the beginning of it all. So let's see. It's got 2 positions, 2 different locations in Iowa. 3 days a week hybrid. Oracle Identity Management is something. What I like in this job posting already is what like they have the very basics of what they want you to have, right? You're gonna get become a SME, right? In certain areas, but you should already know 365 hybrid, SSO, AD, right? What the certificate key stores are. So we can, for anybody that wants to apply to jobs like this and see it more, drop a comment in the videos as we go through the sessions. But we can set up a separate kind of journey. We'll call it, once again, a waypoint, right, on certificate authority servers, right? Certificate Microsoft AD CAs is called, certificate authority, and how that works, the environment setup, why it's used in enterprises, and how companies are moving to cloud native with it, blah, blah, blah. But we can cover that. because I don't think a lot of people know that by nature. Not a lot of companies still use CAs, especially not where people from the help desk environment can touch them outside of a managed service provider. MFA, of course, we're going to talk through that. Privilege management solutions, we're going to dovetail on that. Third-party integrations for SAML. Once again, SAML is key to this part. SSO, authentication, authorization, RBAC, all that part comes with it. I like the part where they call out that you're going to learn above and beyond, right? You're going to learn Oracle Identity Management. They don't expect you to know it. That's huge. So having a bachelor's degree is something they want. 1 to 2 years of either security engineering or the IAM. I think be system administrator. Enterprise Identity Management Solutions. For me, I always wonder why not just call out what that enterprise identity management solution is. Personally, I think if you're using Active Directory, you're using an enterprise identity management solution. Proficient experience leading troubleshooting. We're going to work on troubleshooting projects. Scripting languages, once again, Python, PowerShell, Graph, all that stuff will go in. Administrating, managing data stores, troubleshooting SSO, we can break it and fix it. SOX requirements, procedures, adhering to security standards policies. What you're good at, change management, problem solving, being part of a team, being professional, that's all soft skills. Like these are everything besides bullet one is a soft skill. And if you don't have this, I don't know if being hands-on keyboards is part of you for you. So it looks like a good one, personally. If you're okay being on site in Iowa, I would give this one a shout. You might grab that link and I just want to go to the website so I can grab it for you guys. Let's see. Let's grab one more. Do we want to go into healthcare? Personally, I don't think I do. Systems administrator. Okta. Let's see what they got. This one looks to me, it's already got over 100 applicants, and just this week alone, they're doing managed. So this is an MSP, managed service provider. Personally, wouldn't apply to it. Just not enough in that job description for me. See this Okta admin needs. Nope. Most of it's gonna be 5-10 years. It's not that bad. So once again, this one might be worth looking at. It's a contract to hire for 6 months, which isn't that bad. Personally, anybody that's looking for a job, even though it's on site, it's remote. So this one's going to call out remote. So actually, it's going to be really worth applying to. I'm pretty sure they probably have gotten slapped with applications though. So we're going to implement Okta technologies, support Okta for SSO, transitioning and moving or migrating applications to Okta, proper maintenance. So all the day-to-day Okta, handling tickets around Okta, troubleshoot workflows. So you might also do sysadmin work, right? Stick around. So this is a cloud native organization, right? Google Workspace, Slack, M365, Jira, and/or Confluence. Device management Mac Windows with Jamf and Intune. Let's see. Architect. These will end up under entry level. I like ones that show you how many applications in LinkedIn only. Just so let's just pull in LinkedIn to see what. It took us 27 time looking at jobs. If you're watching this video the last 15 minutes, probably doesn't pertain to you, but I'll put those jobs in the description. Once again, this episode's early. What we did do, what we walked through, I'll share screen for this so you guys can see it, because I don't know if I did. We'll walk through that whiteboard one last time. All right, so what we did today is we kind of walk through the whiteboard of this and what the sessions will look like over the next 5 to 6 month journey. We walk through what the roles of an IAM engineer are, the job descriptions. Once again, I'll document and drop some more jobs in the chat and in the actual sessions themselves. We'll whiteboard the services journey, what that looks like on Thursday. Then next Tuesday or this Sunday, haven't decided yet, we'll whiteboard and start building that Active Directory domain. And we'll start the waypoint on that journey of building our own domain controller, right? And we'll probably build it directly, like I said, in Azure. We'll set up the Azure tenant. We'll try to secure it. And then we'll move into building and securing the M365, all the tenant and stuff. And I'll drop this picture once again in the show notes. So once again, guys, thanks for coming to day one of the journey. And I am super excited to have you here with me. So until next time.